Hi, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Living Dvnly Podcast. For those of you who are new here, I'm your host, Miss Amber Janae, and as always, I am super excited to be sharing another episode with you all. Before I get into the episode, let me start with this. So, initially, when I started podcasting again, I told myself, and I had every intention of publishing bi-weekly episodes. Obviously, we all see that the cadence is a bit off. And actually, if you listen to the intro of the episode, I definitely say that we are a bi-weekly podcast, and we ain't. I recorded an episode a few weeks ago, or maybe like a week ago, that was scheduled to be published on Tuesday of this current week, which is Tuesday the 21st of November. And it is actually Wednesday, November 22nd, as I'm recording. And the reason why I did not publish the episode, because as I was sitting and I was going through the content and I was editing the episode, something in my gut just said not to publish it. And I don't know, I just felt like there was a lack of connection to the topic. So I just said, I'm going to sit on it overnight. And if I wake up and I feel differently, then I'll just go ahead and publish it. But if I feel the same when I wake up, I'll keep it in the drafts, and maybe I'll feel differently about it later on down the line. Long story short, went to bed, woke up, felt the same about it, and just kept the episode in the drafts and told myself, whatever is meant to be discussed and published for the upcoming episode will eventually come to me, which it did. And basically I shared all of that to say that as creatives, we likely want to work on a schedule and post on a certain cadence. And this is to ensure that we keep our faces, our voices, and our names in front of our followers for engagement. We want to be sure that we don't take too much time off so that people don't forget about us, forget our content, forget who we are. But I want to be the one to encourage you all to free yourself from the shackles of feeling like you need to publish and push out content at a certain time, daily, weekly, or bi-weekly. Just post. Post whenever it feels good. Post whenever it feels right. Very rarely do we create content that connects or resonates with our core audience when we're trying to force content into the world or onto our platforms for the sake of relevancy. There's always a lack of connection there. And so I just want to encourage you to practice creating in flow. Everything has become incredibly curated. Everything has to be perfect. Everything has to look good. And it honestly just sucks the fun out of creating and consuming content. Every time I get on Instagram, there's a reel about how I gained XYZ amount of followers. This is how I do this and how I do that. There is always something to be sold. And maybe we just need a world where everyone is creating freely. Maybe that is the unlock. Maybe that is how we encourage and inspire the world. Just by being uniquely us. When you practice creating in flow, it eventually all comes to you when the timing is right. The ideas, the content, everything just flows. And the people who are meant to receive your content, the people who are meant to receive you will. Nothing that is rightfully yours will ever pass you up or pass you by. I am looking forward to the days when we stop looking at our gifts and our creativity as something to be done rather than something that we just do. I don't know if that makes sense. I hope it does. But we attach so much unnecessary pressure to creativity and to our art. We create what we think people want to see instead of creating from the heart. Create more of what grounds you and connects you to your heart space, and leave the other stuff behind. Okay, now that I've got my little sermon out of the way, let's get into the episode. I am actually very excited to dive into this topic because I've been talking about this a lot just with friends, and I want to spend some time exploring the theme of finishing the year strong. But I want us to think about what this truly means to us and how we can actually finish the year strong without limiting ourselves or without succumbing to the pressures of achievement. I want us to use this episode as our gentle reminder to be, especially for all of you incredible people out there who are in the process of reimagining that in-between phase. What life looks like. You're in that in-between moment. Those moments where we're thinking about what we want to manifest in the coming year and what you want to manifest in your lives, in your career, in your relationships, and ultimately within yourself. You're in that phase where you're focusing on personal growth. I think it's incredibly important that we're just taking a moment to really reflect on what it means to us to finish the year strong. So, let's get into the episode. Welcome to Living Dvnly, the Divine Oasis podcast. I'm your host, Janae, founder and editor-in-chief of Divine Oasis. Bi-weekly, I use this platform to dissect what it means to live a well-lived life by exploring ways that we can create space for ourselves through intentionality, truth, love, and authenticity. As we approach the end of the year and we're thinking about how far we've come, what we've done, the things that we haven't done, it's very normal for us to also think about everything that lies ahead in the coming year. We're often overanalyzing what needs to be done, what things are going to manifest into our lives and our careers, and sometimes that sends us spiraling and thinking, while we're imagining all of the possibilities, a lot of those possibilities become drowned out with doubts and fears. And even in the midst of all of the chaos and a lot of the calm that this season brings us, it is very important for us to find a balance between finishing the year strong and allowing ourselves the grace to just be. My goal is to explore this concept a little bit deeper in this episode and hopefully provide you all with some strategies and tips that will help you shift your mindset, and that will help you navigate that thin line between accomplishment and self-compassion. I was going to say self-comparison. Lord Jesus. Okay, so before we jump into strategies, let's take a moment and reflect. The art of reflection. It's actually one of my favorite things to do. I think I've comfortably gotten to a space where reflection doesn't feel scary. I actually enjoy it because it gives me a sense of connection to self, what I'm experiencing, what I feel, how I feel, and what I'm currently dealing with or potentially avoiding. But I want us all to pause and think about all that you've experienced or been through throughout the year thus far. What are some of those key moments that stand out to you the most as you look back on what this year has brought you so far? The year's not done yet. What achievements have you celebrated? And what challenges have you faced? Think about that and how it shaped you, how it's made you feel. If I had to pinpoint a few highs and a few lows of the year, one of the highs would definitely me having the opportunity to host a masterclass for Banana Republic. That was a moment that really catapulted me into career confidence and self-understanding. For years, I feel like I operated from a space where I doubted all that I know and all that I'm capable of. And it was just me battling with imposter syndrome so much. And it's just simply just me not trusting in myself, not believing in myself, not understanding what I am capable of. But me having, even with all my years of creativity, all of my years of knowledge and skill and studying, like I still lived in that space like, damn, am I really capable of doing this? Do I really have what it takes? The imposter syndrome was heavy and still can be at certain times, but being able to build that course material and host the in-person class for such a reputable brand just really helped me to sit with myself and realize, like, damn, maybe I am that girl. Like, it was such a fulfilling moment for me. It was such a high. And then to also live days and weeks post masterclass and hear all of the feedback, and then also see a lot of the work that I did be implemented into people's style of content and creating. Like, I started to see my influence in people that I know who actually work for the brand, which is incredible in my eyes. I think another high moment for me would be the relaunch of the Divine Oasis website. I personally spent well over 6 months with my team, really redefining the brand, thinking about the brand messaging and redefining that. I also spent countless hours alone, up in the wee hours of the morning, late at night, coming up with a refined color palette for the brand, redesigning the website. Yes, I do all of the creative on my own presently, as far as like designing and all of that, content, photos, everything. And, you know, redesigning the website, just to ensure that the originality of the brand is clearly and concisely expressed through visuals and our brand messaging. Like, this was everything about Divine Oasis in the back half of this year was just an incredibly proud moment for me, because the brand has come so far. And with all of this work that has been done, I am just incredibly excited to see where the brand is headed in the near future. I'm just excited about it. And I'm excited about all of you. You all are our community, and I love creating for all of you. If I had to choose a low, it would definitely be my son having surgery recently. It was such a nerve-wracking process, and honestly, we found out about the surgery literally he wasn't even 1 year old, a 1 year old when we found out about the surgery. So we have been dealing with this for quite some time, and it just sent me on an emotional roller coaster for so long. And I personally think for any parent thinking about your child having to go through any type of procedure and having that being done, it's definitely a lot. And then when it actually happens, like, that is the worst. I think getting through the process was one relief, but then having to see him struggle and be in pain post recovery was really hard for me. Thankfully, I have a super ninja warrior baby, because he was struggling and he was down, he was uncomfortable for about 2 days, and then literally he was just so frustrated with not being able to sit up on his own, not being able to really walk post surgery. And I would see the anger and frustration in him. And then one day he was just like, one night actually, we were sitting down, and I remember had like just posting, like, you know, he's not fully sitting up on his own, he's not fully walking again, but I'm proud of the progress he's making. And then sitting down, and then he just decided, like, you know what, I'm gonna try this again for the millionth time. Because normally when he was trying to like get up and walk, he would literally like just fall back down because of the pain. Like, it was overbearing for him. And that baby was lying down, got up and started walking. He was lying on the couch and pushed himself up off the couch. And you could see like his hands and his legs and everything shaking because the pain was still bothering him. But he was just like, I'm going to do what needs to be done. And he got up, he walked across the room, and he sat in his recliner and he ate his snacks and he watched Bluey. And just seeing him walk for the first time in 2 days, seeing him walk again was just like, it was an incredible feeling for me. And seeing him struggle through all that and then pick himself back up. Like, I cried for so many days. Like, it was so much. And I feel like I really needed the cries because there was so much that I needed to release. So I'm thankful for the process. And I love seeing him flourish. I love seeing him just be that angelic little being that I know him to be. So it was a struggle, but it was also a beautiful experience for us as a family. I think another low this year was losing a friend of mine who died by suicide this past summer. And this is a friend that I met when I was 11 years old, and we had been friends literally up into the point that he passed. There was some time that we had not spoken, just because obviously as friends your life goes in different directions, and I won't get into it too much, but I feel like people, those of you who know me, know that I'm very intuitive. But in his passing and in his transition process, like, I did end up connecting with him, and it was one of the things. We went through a period not knowing where he was and if he was safe and if he was okay. And then when I had the dream, that's kind of what solidified it for me when I did know, because he did visit me in a dream that I had. And so that was very, very, very hard on me. And there is not a day that goes by that I don't think of him, or something that I see that reminds me of him, or a song that I hear. And his passing really, really, really took a toll on me this year. It was something that was totally unexpected. And you have to understand that this is a friend of mine who was literally the life of the party, was the center of attention. And I will never, I will never forget us like getting into an argument. This was about like maybe 7 years ago at this point. Us getting into an argument and him telling me like, you know what? I don't even know why I'm arguing with you. Like, I don't even have to tell you. Like, do you know who I am? Like, I will always be a part of your life. I will always be a part of everybody's life. Like, y'all will never ever be able to not think about me or get rid of me. Like, I need you to understand who I am. Like, very, very much that type of person. And those were his exact words. And I think about that conversation often because he was very, very right. Very, very right. But even, in that and dealing with that and sitting and reflecting on all that the year has presented me, the good, the bad, the ugly, the indifferent, it has really, really helped me and shaped me into a stronger, more resilient version of myself. And I just wanted to encourage you all to try and always reflect and acknowledge how your journey continues to ground you and help you evolve over time. Always, always making sure that you're recognizing both the highs and the lows and how they contribute to our growth. I know that the lows are a complicated thing. They're difficult for us to acknowledge, difficult for us to sit with. But honestly, like I feel like the pain and the struggles, while I don't opt for struggle life. I'm one of those individuals who completely opt out of struggle. But sometimes there are uncontrollable moments of grief. There are uncontrollable moments of sadness. And these are things that we experience just naturally. It's not by choice. And I'm just a firm believer that those low moments are the moments that really help us connect with our truth, connect with who we are at our core, and really help us evolve as individuals. So now that we've spent some time reflecting, and let's shift from the somberness. We spent some time reflecting on the past. I want us to shift gears a little bit and focus on the present and the future. Something that I have been battling heavily with is just being present and trying not to center every single day on what's to come. And it's been so difficult for me to do that. And I thought it was really important to touch on that, because I just feel like as we're approaching the end of the year, we should be focusing less on trying or doing and just being. I actually just posted a TikTok about this, and it's interesting that it came out the exact same way. Because I really, really mean this. Like, a good idea that I recently came up with was, instead of just buckling to the pressure of achieving specific goals by the end of the year, maybe I should like try to shift that and focus on being more intentional. And with that, I considered just setting some intentions. Y'all know I'm good for some affirmations or some intentions, and I truly feel that aligning on what you want to be intentional with is really more so connecting with how you want to feel and who you desire to become, and not necessarily what you are forcing yourself to do. Intentions can often serve as our guide and our roadmap for life and for any upcoming transitions, without the rigid expectations that are often associated with, the traditional goal setting, like that new year, new me. I hate that. So for example, saying, I'm New Year is coming. I need to lose 10 pounds by February of next year. And what if you switch that and just say, consider setting an intention. I want to prioritize my well-being and make choices that heal my body, nourish my body, and make me feel good. This intention, or any intention that you set, doesn't have to include reaching a certain goal, especially when it comes to your health and well-being. Like, your intentions do not have to include a certain goal weight or limiting a calorie count by a certain time. It's literally just a choice. In our last episode, I said, recognizing that your power of choice is a gift and making decisions for your highest good is a radical act that alleviates the burden of guilt when you choose to do what's best for you. I love that. I can't believe I said that. But anyways, when I said it, I meant it. And I mean it so much more now, because sometimes choosing not to do the most, but the lesser, shout out to Pimp C, but doing less is a radical act. And it really saves us from that pressure that we feel of new year, new me. Like, it saves us from that. Doing the less sometimes is what's best for us. That subtle shift in mindset, or this subtle shift in mindset where you decide, like, instead of setting goals, I'm just going to be a little bit more intentional. That shift really is about focusing on the present moment, focusing on the journey rather than fixating on a specific outcome. It's about being present and just embracing the process. Literally what I mentioned earlier in the episode about going with the flow. Honestly, brief intermission real quick. Like, I know that I put these podcast episodes together for all of you, my audience, but these are my real life practices and beliefs. So a lot of times my recording sessions are so damn therapeutic because they serve as an affirming reminder for me that I truly am on the right path. Okay, so back to the topic at hand. My top key for finishing the year strong without feeling the weight of achievements or pressure of like goal setting is practicing self-compassion. Give yourself a little grace. One of my favorite responses to life is non-judgmental observation. And this is something that I recently implemented into my life about 6 or 7 months ago. And it's just me going through the ebbs and flows of life and being incredibly judgmental on myself that forced me into the space like, what can you do to stay out of this negative mindset? And it truly pays us to view our life and our actions from the lens of observing our thoughts, observing our emotions and sensations without judgment. Instead of labeling anything that we experience in our life as good, bad, or difficult, like simply just acknowledging the feelings as they arrive, while also being mindful of practicing compassion for ourselves. Adopting a non-judgmental attitude allows us to explore what we're feeling in the moment and how our feelings or thoughts impact us without being overcritical of ourselves or getting caught up in these feelings and experiences. It's easy to be our most harsh and difficult critic, especially when we perceive ourselves as falling short or failing. And a lot of the times the criticism is a lot more harsh when we fall short of our own expectations, and expectations that a lot of the times can be incredibly unrealistic. But imagine being open to treating yourself with the same kindness and understanding that you would offer to a friend or a family member or even a colleague. As we lean into the transition from one holiday to another and then into the new year, take a moment to acknowledge your efforts and recognize that growth often comes with setbacks. And these setbacks, I won't even call them setbacks, I'll call them delays, because they never define you. They're just a moment where something is temporarily paused. Something is out of the ordinary for a temporary moment, and that does not define you. It often makes you stronger. It often pushes you. It inspires you. Maybe you have a delay in something is delayed and it's beyond your control. What are you going to do? You're going to keep moving forward. You're going to find another outlet. You're going to find another option. If the door closed, you're going to find another one that's open. Be gentle with yourself and understand that it is okay to not have everything figured out. You, your life, and your professional goals, your business goals, all of that is a work in progress. And this is perfectly okay. You want to know something that really just hit home for me and was like, damn, no matter what level you get at, you still feel like there's so much more for you to go. I don't know if it was a recent episode of The Real Housewives of Atlanta I was watching, and Candy Get a Bag Burris literally had the audacity to sit in our faces and say that she still feels like she's not where she wants to be. And at first I wanted to be judgmental. Like, girl, do you know who you are? But it made me realize, like, damn, the way I see Candy, there might be people who see me in the same way. But in my eyes, I'm just somebody that still needs to continue to grow, still needs to continue to evolve, still needs to continue to work. There's so much more that I want to do. I'm not where I want to be yet. And I think it's important to just realize, like, how we see ourselves is different from how the world sees us. And just because we see ourselves a certain way does not mean that the progress isn't there, does not mean the skill isn't there. Or we're not talented, we're not successful. It just means that we're working toward another step in the journey, another step in the process. And in order to do that, you have to learn to embrace being compassionate with yourself, being gentle with yourself. Self-compassion creates this nurturing environment, and that helps support your growth as an individual. It allows you to move forward with trust in yourself. It allows you to move forward with resilience and a more evolved, positive mindset. Another strategy for cultivating mindset shifts, or, whatever we want to call it today, is building and cultivating an attitude of gratitude. It sounds so cliche. Saying it definitely made me laugh. But one of the things that we like to do at Divine Oasis is we like to establish themes to carry us through every month. And we do this to ensure, one, all the content across all of our channels has a certain level of consistency and cohesiveness, but also it helps us to ensure that as a brand, we're grounded and rooted in certain principles throughout the month. So this month on Divine Oasis, our theme is gratitude. And I chose this theme, obviously, because gratitude aligns perfectly with the month of November due to the holiday, but also because personally, I feel like living a life rooted in gratitude is just a positive, powerful, transformative approach to daily living, especially as we're approaching a new year. And this approach to life could just really help to shift our mindsets and our perspective overall. I think we get so caught up in the idea of like, oh, I need to be grateful. I need to say, I need to be happy for this. I need to be happy for that. But we don't really realize in the moment how much these practices shift our mindsets, and how much they play on our belief system. And I just, overall, when it comes to the pressure of the end of the year, like, I want us all to be mindful of acknowledging everything that we have, all that we've been through, all that we've been able to accomplish in the months leading up to now, and allow that to help ease any pressure or guilt about doing more before the year ends. Like, I was having this conversation with myself the other day. Like, if you do nothing else this year, girl, you are okay. There is so much that I've been able to pull together and pull off in such a short amount of time. And something that I also just realized is that I'm recording this episode, and it is the evening of my work anniversary at work. So, girl, yeah, there's nothing else to be done if nothing else gets done. And that is okay. Instead of focusing on what you haven't achieved or the things that you want to achieve, shift your attention to what you have been able to accomplish and all of the blessings in your life. When you cultivate a sense of gratitude and a sense of mindfulness, it's not about denying that negative thoughts come up, challenges arise. It's not about that, but it's being mindful and acknowledging the good that comes along with those challenges. So as we approach the end of the episode, I do want to take a moment to just reiterate the importance of embracing your journey. Yes, it is easy to get caught up in everything else. It is easy to constantly look toward the future and have so many expectations about what might happen. But just enjoy the moment, enjoy the now. Like, my favorite thing lately has been just being able to open up all of the shutters in the house and just see the gray, gloomy skies and the leaves on the trees transitioning and leaves falling. Like, that's been such a beautiful moment to me. And it is such an important part of our journey, because it helps us to realize that transition is beautiful. I just, cheesy, but it's important. It's important to me. And it has been an incredible reminder for me that growth is not linear. And it is perfectly okay to experience challenges, to experience delays and detours and moments of uncertainty. It's okay. What matters most is the person that you're becoming in the process. And I'm telling you right now, find some space in your life to really enjoy and appreciate the simple things. Just like I mentioned, the views of the trees and the gloomy weather, being able to snuggle up on a blanket. Literally, I just came off the couch from a nap with my family. They're still napping, but those simple moments, being able to take a night drive, being able to cook a full meal and listen to your favorite holiday music, like the simple things. Stop focusing on the grand scheme of things. Stop focusing on the big grand moments. Those are the things that make you. They're also, in my opinion, not the things that contribute to our happiness. It's literally the small things that often go overlooked. So, as you're navigating the final weeks of the year, sounds scary. Remember that finishing strong doesn't mean having everything. It doesn't mean everything being neat and tidy. Doesn't mean everything being completed. You making one final home stretch to achieve this incredible end goal. It doesn't mean none of that. It means showing up for yourself. It means learning from your experiences, the experiences that life offers, good or bad, and embracing the beautiful messiness of life, because it does get messy, and that is okay. Be proud of who you are in this moment. Be proud of how far you have come, and trust that everything ahead, regardless of what it looks like, holds even more opportunities for personal discovery and growth and evolution. With that being said, I want to thank you all for joining me on this episode and listening to Living Divinely. I hope that you found inspiration in today's topic and that you're inspired to prioritizing your well-being over anything else. Remember that it's okay to go into this new year and not have any goals and things that you desire to accomplish, but it's also equally important to honor where you are in this moment, goals or not. If you enjoyed this episode, I encourage you to please, please, please share with the other incredible people in your life, other incredible people that follow you on social media, especially those people in your life that are on their own journey to reimagining their life, and are on their own personal pursuit of growth and expansion. Please do share. As we wrap up, I want to encourage you all to connect with us on social media. Our Instagram is at Divine Oasis, and our Twitter is _, or at _ Divine Oasis. I'd love to hear all of your reflections on finishing the year strong and what this looks like, any strategies that you may have, anything that you're using right now to navigate through the holiday season, and to support you through finishing the year. I'd love to hear it. So please do share with me. If you want to follow me on my personal socials on Instagram and Twitter and Threads is at Living Divinely, and Divinely is DVNLY, like Divine Oasis, but okay. Also, I want to encourage you all to be sure to sign up for our community membership. I can't think of anything else that's more benefiting and more rewarding. First of all, the membership is free. When you do sign up for the membership, there's so many incredible member benefits. You get access to free courses, tons of free resources. You're connected with me, and you get access to my monthly newsletters. Post-holiday, I have some really great things that I'm working on that will be member exclusive only. So yeah, just be sure to sign up for the membership. There's tons of content, free resources, and other things for you to explore on divineoasis.com. So again, thank you all for listening. Thank you for your support. Until next time, take care of yourself. Be kind to yourself. Be gentle to yourself on your journey, because it is one of a kind. You are one of a kind, and you are important. You are special. And just keep shining. Keep shining brightly. Have an incredible holiday, you guys. And I'll talk to you all soon. Bye.